So what was, yes, Shivam, I have started. So what was rising slowly? It was the wall. So what is being referred to in the above lines? The wall of, yes, the thick illusionary wall of injustice, discrimination. You can write anything. Clear? Next is, what does it rise between? What does it rise between? What does it rise between? Yes, Avni, correct answer. It rose between the poet and his dream. See, it is in present tense. What does it rise between? So you will write it rises between, okay, as it is in present tense. So it rises between the poet and his dreams. Yes, Akul, don't write narrator. It's poet, okay? Between the poet and his dreams. Yes, correct answer, Asta. Next is, when does it stop rising? When does the wall of discrimination stop rising? Okay, so when he, okay, when he raises his voice, okay, you can say this, when he raises his voice. Other way how you can write this answer, until it touched the sky. Yes, until it touched the sky. When does it stop rising? Here you can write this answer, until it touched the sky. Yes, until it touched the sky. When he thinks to fight, yes, you can write this answer also, but we have to go according to the context. So rose slowly, slowly. Here basically they have written until it touched the sky. Is it okay? You will write this answer, until it touched the sky. When does it stop rising? It stops rising until it touches the sky. Okay, yes, up to its peak. Yes, correct answer, Avni. Next is, I am black. As I have told you that this line is very important. I am black. Who is the speaker? Who is saying this, I am black? Who is the speaker here? The speaker is the person who has lost his dream and hopes to recapture. Black. Poet. Yes, simply you can write poet. The speaker is the poet. Ask the correct answer, just add. It is, the speaker is the poet. Yes, poet. Correct answer. The speaker, the poet, is an African American who is black in color. Yes, correct answer. Then next is, why has the speaker turned black? Why has the speaker turned black? What is the reason? Why he turned? See, I have told you that this line has two meanings. First is that this is the color of the poet, right? Second meaning is that you have to tell. Okay, because of shadow. Yes, correct, Aranya. Because of shadow of darkness, due to depression, because of disappointment, he was disappointed, and then he was, you can say, sad, hopeless, and because of shadow of the wall. Because of the shadow of the wall, yes, because he was hopeless. He is turned black in shadow of the wall of discrimination. Yes, he is turned black in shadow of the, he has turned black in the shadow of the wall of discrimination. Yes, as he was hopeless, he was depressed and unable to achieve or unable to fulfill his dreams. Last, explain the significance of this line vis-a-vis the poem. Vis-a-vis means in relation to. Okay? Prabal, it is your choice. So explain the significance of this line vis-a-vis the poem. Means in relation to the poem. How this line is significant, how this line is important, how this line is totally related to the poem. You have to write that. Who will explain this? No answers? Don't you think this line is important? This line, okay. This line is very important in the poem. This line, I am black, has two meanings. One is the color of the poet is black, and second is that poet is turned black due to wall of racism. Okay, yes. Okay, correct. The significance is that because first thing, it is the color of the poet, right? And because of that black color, the poet was not given enough chances to prove himself, or the poet was unable to achieve his dreams. Is it okay? And then you will write that he turned black means he was hopeless as he was not able to see his dream clearly. He was hopeless. He was not able to see his dream clearly. As the dream was blocked by the wall of discrimination. So you will write both the points. Means first point, because first is it is the color of the poet. He is describing the why he was not able to achieve anything, why he was not able to fulfill his dream, because he was black. Means he was black in color. And second meaning is that this black color means I am black also shows that he was hopeless that time because of the discrimination, injustice, and inequality. He was hopeless. Yes, Akul, your answer is correct. Yeah, Prabal, I think you have read about this in history, in about discrimination. The students said that they have read. See, still discrimination is there. Yes, in sixth. Akul is saying in sixth. Okay, in civics. So this discrimination is still there. If you have heard during lockdown, some rights were there. I don't know whether you have. Yes, Harman is saying yes. He has heard about this. One black man was killed by police only, and then some. What Adesh? What are you saying? Okay, then exercise 10. Sorry, page number 109. Yes, Harman, protest was there. Exercise A3, I think Asta was there. Asta, I think you want to. So I'm going to unmute you. Yes, Asta. Let me read the question first. Think and answer. Which wall do you think separates the poet from his dream? Elaborate. Means here you have to explain. You are not supposed to write in a single sentence that this wall separates the poet this and that. No, you have to elaborate. Is it okay? So, Asta, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The wall that separates is discouragement and unconfidence, as well as discrimination and injustice. It crowds his hope and judgment. He discriminates himself by not giving himself a chance to protect from the embarrassment of the color. So I think the wall is his himself injustice which is not given to his true self.
Okay. Okay. Then, Toranya, you want
Ma'am,
to
can
give
I
answer?
give second answer too?
Just wait. I'll unmute you again. Toranya also wants to give the answer. Okay, Toranya. Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. When the poet was a child, he had big dreams of achieving many things in his life. Due to racial discrimination, his dreams become distant, shattered. He becomes hopeless and pessimistic. He feels the wall of injustice and discrimination is rising high and rising until it touches the sky. This wall is of attitude, prejudices towards the black people, and it separates him from his dream. With the wall blocking the bright light, he feels his dream is in the dark. This wall of racial discrimination become barrier to his dream. The wall represent obstacles to his dream.
Yes. Okay, correct answer. So I hope you got the answer. It is the wall of discrimination, inequality, right, that separates the poet from his dream. And second, you can say, as I think Asta has also said this, the second discrimination, the second separation, the second thing that separates the poet from his dream was the his hopelessness, the way he gave up, as he gave up, and that is why he was not able to put any efforts to achieve his dream. So two things. First thing is that was the discrimination thing, right? The wall of discrimination. Because of that discrimination, he was not given enough chances to prove himself. The second thing is that when he was not given enough chances to prove himself, instead of fighting, what he does, he just steps back. So that is why these two things are there in between the poet and his dream. And the major thing is the wall of discrimination. Is it okay? But somehow when you stop fighting for whatever you want, then that is also a kind of wall that separates you. Is it okay? Separates you from your dream. I hope it is okay. uh, The wall of racism, discrimination, inequality separates the poet from his dreams. Only if he is black, he is not given enough opportunities, chances to rise to the wall of success. Poet is hopeless due to, yes, Akul, correct answer. Now, yes, Adesh, I'll give your answer. Don't give answer to your question also. Don't worry. So, Anjani, please send your answer again. I'm not able to see your answer. This is the answer. 2 points that you have to include. First point is that the wall of discrimination. Okay, wall of discrimination separates the poet from his dream. Second wall is the wall created by himself. He himself has created the wall. And the second wall was the wall of hopelessness. He was hopeless. He has given up on his dream. So that is why he was not fighting for his dream. So this is also the wall that separates the poet from his dream. Is it okay? Prabal, which answer? Just tell me which answer. Okay, just wait. Yes, Prabal.
Yes. Wall separates the poet from his dream. As when he is rising, he is stopped by the wall. His shadow is blocked by this wall. This wall gives problems and difficulties to the poet and separates poet from his dream. He gave up and not able to fulfill his dream. This is all about by this wall. He steps back and do not fight against this wall.
Okay, yes, correct. But see, you have to mention this that the wall of discrimination was there. It was actually there. It was, you cannot say that this was just his dream. This was just his, you can say, his imagination. The wall was actually there. Is it okay? So, this is the major reason that separates him. But the other reason is this. Okay, Anjani, just wait. Yes, Anjani. Okay, Shivam. Anjani. I think your audio is not working. Mic is not working, Anjani. Yes, Anjani, I think mic is not working. So we'll move to next question. That is the poem optimistic or pessimistic? Optimistic means positive in nature. Pessimistic means negative in nature. What do you think? Is the poem optimistic? It conveys a positive idea, or it is negative, means it conveys a negative idea. And if you are saying optimistic or pessimistic, then you have to tell why. You have to give reasons. Is it okay? Ananya is saying positive. Harman is saying positive. What about others? What do you think? Is it a positive poem or a negative poem? What message is this poem conveying? Whether it is conveying a negative message or a positive message? What do you think? Yes. Asa. Yes, Anjani is also saying it is definitely a positive poem. So, first positive. Okay. Yes, Asa.
I think the poem is positive because I think the person is pessimistic as he thinks negatively of himself and tends to make it right after drowning himself in guilt, like the poet who had guilt not to take a chance and let the wall rose between. It was a discriminating act towards his true self. So at the end, it was a positive impact on others to make it right.
Okay, yes. So I got other answer also. Bani is saying that it is positive. Yes, Paramjit is also saying optimistic. Okay. Taranya is saying both. Harman, I have read. Correct answer. Yes, yes, I have read. So, yeah, according to me also, it is a positive poem. Okay, Taranya, just wait. Yes, Taranya.
The poem is mixture of light and dark images. It shows both hope and depression. When the poet is young, he is optimistic. He thinks he can achieve his dream. His dreams were bright like sun. Here brightness symbolizes hope, optimism. But when he grew older, he understands that there is hindrance to his dreams due to racial discrimination. He becomes hopeless and pessimistic. As the wall of injustice is rising higher, he is in the darkness of prejudice. The poet believes that be he can break through the barriers of being born with black skin in a white dominant society. He decides to stand up for for this injustice and to break this wall of prejudice.
Okay. So, I think it is a positive poem means it is this poem is optimistic in nature, as yes, in the beginning the poet was depressed, no doubt he was depressed, right? He was sad, he was hopeless, but soon he realizes his mistake and soon he realizes that he is going to fight for his dream, right? And from that point onwards I think the poem is totally optimistic because the poet through his experience has given us the message of fighting, you can say, to fight for our dreams, right? To fight for ourselves. Is it okay? So I think it is an optimistic poem because through his poem, through his own experience, what he has done, he has given us the hope that nobody can fight for us. It is only we or only us who can fight. Okay, so you have to write according to this, that yes, in the beginning it was little pessimistic, when the poet was hopeless, he was depressed, but in the end the tone of protest is there. He was ready to fight. Okay, and he was ready to find his dream again, and he was ready to fight for his dream. He was ready to break everything that is coming between him and his dream, right? So this is this is an optimistic poem. Anjani is saying the poem is definitely optimistic because the poet is hopeful. Yes, that his hands will break through the wall of racism and the night of pain and miseries will change into dawn of happiness. The sun will shine brightly. The sun symbolizes hope and happiness. It is an optimistic poem. So you will not write about pessimism or that this is a pessimistic poem. It is totally an optimistic poem because the poet has hope to achieve his dream again. He was ready to fight, right? He was ready to protest. He was ready to fight for his dream. Is it okay? He was ready to break everything that is coming between him and his dream. Prabal, don't write that. Yes, the poem is both, but at the end, ultimately, what we get a positive message. So we will focus on the positive part. Whenever a movie is there, when happy ending is there, you will not write that it is a sad movie. You will always say that yes, happy ending means the movie was has a happy ending, right? So this way you will write about positive point as the poet is able to realize his worth. Clear? Now, any doubt? No? No doubt at all? Shivam is saying exercise A2, first part, Shivam? Yes, Herman, what is your doubt? Please ask. Yes, Herman.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, it means that, ma'am, when the question comes, the poem is positive or negative, then at that time we have to see its ending, that if ending is negative then the poem is also negative.
No, you simply see you are getting the message of some, you can say you have hope. So you will write that it is a positive poem. See, you can say the poet has given you the background, how earlier he was negative. But then when he is writing this poem, that time he is positive. Okay, he has hope. So you will write that this poem is optimistic. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. A2 question 1 ABC part. Okay. So first is, what is it being referred to in the above lines? It is dream. Dream of the poet. Then they have written, why isn't it bright like a sun anymore? Because the wall rises. Because the wall of discrimination rises or is rising slowly. That covers, that blocks the light of his dream. And then what must be done to make it shine again? The wall of darkness, the wall of discrimination must be broken. Yes, Ananya, correct. The wall of discrimination must be broken to make the dream shine again. I hope, Shivam, it is okay now. Yes, Paramjit, correct. Break the wall of discrimination. Now last part, that is A4 exercise, learn interesting terms. Now Langston Hughes was one of the inventors of jazz poetry. Jazz poetry, as I have explained, full of music, rhythm, like rappers do, right? And then also this jazz poetry picks up, always this jazz poetry always picks up a theme, maybe some social issues, which are, with these social issues are conveyed through the poetry. Is it okay? So now a poem that has a jazz like rhythm is called a jazz poem. In modern times, jazz poetry has evolved into poetry slams. Now you have to write, how does As I Grew Older qualify as a jazz poem? What do you think? Is it a jazz poem? Is there any rhythm in this poem? I have explained that I am not going to sing this poem, right? But yes, there is rhythm. Second thing, is there any social issue touched in this poem? What do you think? Is there any social issue that has been touched in this poem or not? Okay, Akul is saying yes, Arish, yes, Adish, yes. Yes, so this poem clearly qualifies as a jazz poem because of the rhythm, because of the rhythm of this poem. You can sing song this poem, means one can sing song this poem, and also through this poem the poet has touched a very important issue, has touched a very important issue of, as you are saying, racial discrimination. Yes, he has touched the very important issue of racial discrimination, inequality, injustice, right? First of all, you have to give the introduction of jazz poetry and then you will write about this poem. Is it okay? The way you used to do that, a poem that has a jazz-like rhythm is called a jazz poem. This poem clearly qualifies as a jazz poem and then you will explain why. First reason is you can sing song it. Second reason is that this poem, through this poem the poet has touched, through this poem the poet has touched the social, very important social issue, that is racial discrimination, and he has also given us the message. Okay, jazz poetry always gives a message. Through this poem the poet has also given us the message that no matter what stands between you or stands in the way of your dreams, you can always fight for it, or you have to fight for it. Tanushka, jazz poem means in which jazz is a music, kind of music. Okay, so it has rhythm. Jazz poem has rhythm like jazz. And second is whenever jazz poetry is there, some social issue is touched, and then second is message is given through this jazz poetry, means that we can sing song. Okay. Yes, Prabal, you have to do this exercise in fair copy. Got it? Now if you have any doubt, you can ask. I want your notebooks also. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. And if you don't have any doubt, then I hope on Monday you will submit your notebook. Any doubt? No?